Good morning, I'm Alec Hogg, and this is The Rational Perspective. I visited with Yanni Mouton on Friday, and as always, it's fabulous to spend an hour with a high-quality thinker of his ilk. I'm going to be writing about that a little bit later, so not too much to share just yet. But one of the things that really was interesting is he's busy reading this book, The Outsiders. I picked it up at the Berkshire Hathaway AGM 2 years ago, and because Yanni's at it, I decided to reread it as well. And it got me thinking about today's financial results from Sasol. 4 years ago, Sasol hired David Constable, who's a Canadian, from Fluor. He'd been there for 29 years. He was head of operations, and that's his expertise. A civil engineer, he knows how to execute on big plants. But is he the capital allocator of the ilk that Thorndike writes about in this book? The capital allocator who adds a lot of value to an organization, who knows where to put the money? I'm not so sure. We saw in the results today that Sasol is cutting its dividend by 12.5%. It's laying off staff. It's doing things differently. And clearly, this is to conserve cash so that it can execute on a program of building specifically a huge plant in the United States, a cracker in Louisiana. Now, you'd like to know that if you're doing that, if you're taking such big bets, that you've got the guy running the show who's an expert in allocating capital. Only time will tell whether the Sasol board has paid 105 million rand in the last 2 years for someone who's really good on operations, or indeed a capital allocator of the type that Thorndike talks about in The Outsiders, the type that Yanni Mouton is reading about, and so was I. Interesting stuff. This is Alec Hogg with The Rational Perspective.